6 signs you've been mentally abused and how to overcome it. Mental abuse is a serious form of abuse that can have a lasting impact on a person's life. Unlike physical abuse, which can leave visible scars, mental abuse is often hidden and can be difficult to identify. In this article, we will discuss 6 signs that you may have been mentally abused. 1. Constant criticism. One of the most common signs of mental abuse is constant criticism. This can be anything from nitpicking about small things to outright insults and name-calling. The abuser may make you feel like you can never do anything right and may constantly find fault with your actions, appearance, or personality. Over time, this constant criticism can erode your self-esteem and make you feel like you are not good enough. You may begin to doubt your own abilities and feel like you can never measure up to the abuser's standards. 2. Gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of mental abuse where the abuser manipulates the victim into questioning their own sanity. This can take many forms, such as denying something that the victim remembers happening, or making the victim feel like their perceptions are wrong. Gaslighting can be extremely damaging and can leave the victim feeling confused and unsure of themselves. They may begin to question their own thoughts and feelings, and may even start to believe that they are going crazy. 3. Isolation. Another common sign of mental abuse is isolation. The abuser may try to cut you off from your friends and family, or make you feel like you are not allowed to socialize without their permission. They may also try to control who you talk to and what you say to them. Isolation can be particularly damaging because it can leave you feeling trapped and alone. You may feel like you have no one to turn to and no one who understands what you are going through. 4. Blaming. Mental abusers often use blaming as a way to shift responsibility away from themselves and onto their victims. They may blame you for things that are not your fault, or make you feel like you are responsible for their behavior. This can be particularly damaging because it can leave you feeling like you are always in the wrong. You may begin to doubt your own actions and feel like you are responsible for the abuser's behavior. 5. Threats. Threats are another common sign of mental abuse. The abuser may make threats of physical violence, or may threaten to harm you in other ways, such as by taking away your children or ruining your reputation. Threats can be particularly terrifying because they create a sense of fear and uncertainty. You may feel like you are constantly walking on eggshells, afraid of setting the abuser off. 6. Controlling behavior. Finally, mental abusers often engage in controlling behavior. This can take many forms, such as monitoring your phone calls and emails, or dictating what you wear and where you go. Controlling behavior can be particularly damaging because it can leave you feeling like you have no autonomy. You may feel like you are not allowed to make your own decisions or live your own life. If you recognize any of these signs in your own life, it is important to seek help. Mental abuse can have a lasting impact on your mental health and well-being, and it is important to take steps to protect yourself. Consider speaking with a therapist or counselor who can help you process your experiences and develop strategies for coping with the abuse. You may also want to consider reaching out to a support group or domestic violence hotline for additional resources and support. Remember, you are not alone, and there is help available. It is important to note that mental abuse can happen in any type of relationship, not just romantic ones. It can happen between friends, family members, or even in a workplace setting. It is also important to recognize that mental abuse can happen gradually over time, and may not be immediately obvious. If you suspect that someone you know is being mentally abused, it is important to offer support and encourage them to seek help. Be a listening ear, and let them know that you believe them and support them. Encourage them to seek professional help and provide them with resources and information about local support groups and hotlines. In conclusion, mental abuse is a serious issue that can have long-lasting effects on a person's mental health and well-being. It can be difficult to identify, but if you recognize any of the signs in your own life, it is important to seek help. Remember that you are not alone, and there are resources and support available to help you heal and move forward. There are also steps that you can take to protect yourself from further mental abuse. If possible, try to distance yourself from the abuser and create boundaries to protect yourself. This may include limiting contact with them or cutting off contact altogether. It is also important to prioritize self-care and focus on healing from the trauma of the abuse. This may involve seeking therapy or counseling to work through the emotional and psychological impact of the abuse. Additionally, engaging in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment can help to rebuild your sense of self-worth and confidence. It is important to remember that healing from mental abuse takes time and effort. It is a process that can be challenging, but with the right support and resources, it is possible to recover and move forward. In some cases, it may be necessary to seek legal intervention to protect yourself from further abuse. If you are in immediate danger, call emergency services or a local domestic violence hotline for assistance. Overall, it is important to recognize the signs of mental abuse and take action to protect yourself and seek help. Remember that you are not to blame for the abuse, and there is no shame in seeking support and resources to help you heal and move forward. It can be difficult to leave an abusive situation, especially when the abuser has a strong hold on your emotions and thoughts. It is common for victims of mental abuse to feel isolated, hopeless, and trapped in their situation. However, it is important to remember that there is a way out, and that there is help available. If you are experiencing mental abuse, it may be helpful to confide in someone you trust, such as a friend or family member. This can provide you with a support system and help you to feel less alone. Additionally, there are resources available for those experiencing mental abuse, such as hotlines, support groups, and counseling services. It is important to remember that mental abuse is never okay and that you deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. No one should have to endure mental abuse, and it is not your fault. With time, support, and the right resources, you can heal from the trauma of mental abuse and rebuild your sense of self-worth and confidence. Remember, if you are experiencing mental abuse, it is not your fault and you are not alone. Seek help, reach out to a trusted friend or family member, or contact a local support group or hotline. It may be a difficult journey, but you deserve to live a life free from mental abuse and full of love and respect. You have the power to take control of your situation and make positive changes for yourself.